All of us here at St. John's Cathedral hope that your families and you have had a wonderful and blessed Christmas season. And we like to remind you that Christmas is indeed a season. It's not just a day. We are all familiar with the Christmas carol, the 12 Days of Christmas. That begins on December 25th, and it carries through these weeks that follow. So we hope that you are continuing with these 12 days of Christmas celebration. And of course, those 12 days then lead up to January 6th, which is when the church commemorates the arrival of the first Gentiles to worship Jesus, the wise men. And as with many churches, St. John's, we will transfer the Feast of the Epiphany from January 6th to the Sunday following. So this coming Sunday, January 8th, we will mark the Feast of the Epiphany. Again, it's that idea of the light shining in the world, the light that the world had been hungering for so many years and generations, and finally dawning this bright light. And those texts that are very associated with the Feast of the Epiphany, those beautiful words from the prophet Isaiah, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you." And then, of course, the equally familiar story from Matthew about the wise men, the Magi, who come to worship the baby Jesus. So we'll have a really wonderful, bright, shining service prepared for you at the cathedral this weekend, and we will also be celebrating the baptism of 2 small children. So another way to experience that dawning of new life and light in the world. Musically speaking, our music for the Sunday will have a little bit of a mid-century flair. But to get things started, we will begin with the first Noel the angel did say. So we're still playing up sort of that transition from the Christmas season into Epiphany. But it's funny that we think about the first Noel as a Christmas hymn, and it is indeed in the Christmas section of our hymnal, and yet of the 6 verses 3 through 6, the final 4 verses are really all about the wise men and coming into the stable and seeing the star. So we invite you to sing one more Christmas carol with us, but then also to really pay attention to all of the Epiphany themes that are in that. But then, as I said, much of the other music that we'll sing has sort of a mid-century modernist vibe to it. The choir will be singing an anthem by Healy Willan, who was working in the middle part of the 20th century. He was born in England, but he spent most of his life and his career in Canada. And his music has a very neoclassic kind of feel to it, but every once in a while, a little beatnik might show its face, just a little hint of that. At the communion, the choir will be singing an anthem by Harold Friedel, who lived a very short life, but operated in the 40s and 50s in New York. And he really did let his beatnik, inner beatnik, kind of a sacred beatnik, flower. And he has a very mid-century modern harmonic language. And in this very simple hymn that uses this text by Cecil Alexander, "Saw you never in the twilight when the sun had left the skies, up in heaven, the clear skies shining through the gloom like silver eyes." But this delicate, beautiful, homophonic hymn for the choir. And then that will be answered immediately by a hymn that picks up a lot of those themes from the Isaiah passage. "The people who in darkness walked have seen a glorious light," matched in our hymnal with a tune by Leo Sowerby, very contemporaneous with both Harold Friedel and Healy Willan, but a person who spent his career in Chicago. But again, some of those same mid-century harmonies. So we hope that you will come and join us as we celebrate the dawning of the light of Christ in our world as we celebrate the Feast of Epiphany this weekend.